You guys know When Day Breaks is one of my favorite series, but SCP Illustrated does a wonderful job with them. Not only that, but he's recently put together a tale that I think he authored, and it's called The Forest. So we're going to react to it today, guys. Make sure to subscribe to SCP Illustrated. Subscribe to me if you like reaction videos too. Let's get into this one.
This was a bad idea. Samantha looked out through the crack in the shop window at the edge of the forest in front of her. The trees hung like melted wax sculptures, with strings of bark and foliage between them like jungle vines. Everyone in her small community knew that the woods were to be avoided. It was a death trap in there.
Oh wow.
Yes, plants are not dangerous. Yes, the trees would not hunt you down and drag you into the sunlight. However, wading through the sludge of the ecosystem was like trying to escape quicksand.
Wow.
But it was the only option left to her to get back to her group hiding in the shopping center to the west. She had gone out to gather supplies from the convenience store she now found herself in, and her bag had accidentally bumped a car on the way.
Uh-oh. Noise?
Stupid. The alarm had drawn the flesh in from miles around. They
Sort
were
of like
everywhere,
DayZ, man,
and they
or
knew someone was here. Alarms don't
zombies,
just
you
trigger
know?
themselves. She ducked back into cover as a human fox creature slithered by her, whispering its praises to the sun as it vanished around a corner. Fuck it, she had to act. Sam reached into her bag and pulled out a firecracker. These things were
Slingshot.
worth their weight in gold for providing a distraction.
Sure.
She would only have one chance. She winced and froze as the skylight opened with a screech. She listened for the chorus of babble, of the squelch of flesh, but there was nothing.
She's wrapped up
Thank
good
God.
too.
Sam set the firecracker in her slingshot, lit it, and fired it out of the open window. She stepped backwards and crouched next to the open door.
3,
2,
2,
1.
1.
The distant pops and cracks sent the flesh into a frenzy. They all turned and rushed in the direction of the noise. This was her one chance. She made sure the coast was clear and bolted towards the
Go,
forest.
go, go. Even though that might be certain doom.
Samantha cursed herself as she pushed through the swamp of plant goo. It felt like she was trudging through a swamp. The grass, the bushes, the leaves, everything had melted into a mulch of green and brown slurry 2 feet deep on the floor.
God.
It bubbled slightly as the plants suffocated below began to decompose. The trees still stood tall, but their canopies drooped and the bark dripped down the trunks.
So the sun
Vines
just
of melted
melted
twigs
them.
and leaves strung down from the top, creating a spiderweb complex of tripwires all around the base of the trees and across the
If
denser
you
parts
fall
of
in
the
that
forest.
stuff,
She kept to the open
It's like
areas,
quicksand.
but it was still hard going. Ironically, the sun was her lifeline. She was completely lost, but she knew the sun set behind the mall, so she would eventually hit it one way or another if she followed the very thing killing the world. She jumped as she stood on something solid, probably a rotten branch or a rock maybe. Get a grip, she told herself. She stopped to thread a line from her bag under her many layers and drink some water. The heat and moisture lingered in the air, which made the strenuous ordeal of navigating this tar pit all the more tiring.
tell stories.
She
so
sighed
well,
and carried
man.
on. She needed to find her way out of here before nightfall. The log she had stood on previously slowly raised itself out of the sludge. A mass of moss and leaves parted to reveal a single eye
Creature?
watching Samantha as she leaned forwards.
What? Hello?
This was a very bad idea. Samantha lay down in the sludge with just her eyes and nose peeking above the surface. She dared not move. The faint slopping sound grew closer. She had stopped to remove some sludge from her jacket when she both saw it and heard it. This great, lumbering thing of melted plants and a human heading her way. Probably a doomed hiker from the start of this shit show.
Oh my god.
She held her breath as it made its way past her. It was even worse up close. Random streaks of flesh clung to the sticks and blended with the melted leaves to create something from the vision of a bad acid trip.
Ugh.
Everything suddenly grew dark. She chanced a glance to see dark clouds obscuring the sun. Fuck. She hated storms. She prayed that the creature would move, but it just stood there looking around. Did
Why
it
were
know
the
she was
storms
nearby?
Bad?
Were the plants actually out to get them after all? A crack thundered above them, followed by a bolt of light. She whimpered. The creature moved away as the rain began to fall.
Was rain bad?
Samantha thought she was being clever,
The sun?
that maybe following the creature would lead her out of the woods as it tried to find more like it in a town or something. In fact, more tiny flesh creatures were following it to join this creature. Thousands of tiny little flesh insects had begun crawling out. and all of them had seen Sam.
Oh god.
She made her best
So they
attempt
gonna
at a run while the
communicate
rain
with her.
and wind lashed at her face. The sun was completely gone now, and she was in a total panic. She was lost, alone, and had no idea what to do or where to go. The rain was mixing with the sludge to create an even more sticky and noisy solution. Another bolt lit up the woods while a thunderclap made her knees quiver. She turned to see the creature still following her, also being hindered by the soup as it walked on its bulky legs.
Is it?
The trees
It's
were moving.
flesh, though.
Sam
right?
looked in horror as she saw the tree trunks wrapped in flesh moving through the muck, fresh stringy vines entwined with flesh
Oh
shooting
my
between them
God.
all. She ran to the left and dropped into a river. The smell of stagnant water and rotting plants made her heave. She furiously began trying to swim through it, but it was like pushing against concrete.
God, it's like sewage.
Another
I can
bolt
imagine.
and clap shook her. Memories returned of when she fell overboard in the storm as a child. Something grabbed her by the ankle. Samantha was pulled from the muck by the creature as it retracted its vine of meat. She choked as she was dragged through the soup by this thing, the foul waters filling her airways.
Oh no.
It lifted her into the air. Vines on the trees wrapped around her limbs and held her suspended between the trunks. It removed her mask as she screamed in the rain. The trees swayed in the storm, and the creature waited patiently below for the sun to return.
Wow. God, what a horrible way to go.
Thank you all so
Oh, the flesh actually melded with the plant. I would think like the living insects and stuff, right? But not the plants. You can't hide from it at all. It's my God. Definitely one of the worst case in the world scenarios, man. This was so good, guys. Make sure to subscribe to SCP Illustrated. Subscribe to me if you like reaction videos too. Thanks so much for watching. As always, this is Zueljin signing off. We'll see you next time.